What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over what changed in today's Fortnite update. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, comment down below what you think of these changes, and let's get right into it. So this update was super minor. You probably aren't going to change how you play at all because of this update. We got 2 new augments added to the game. The Fortnitemares Battle Bus is back, and then we did get some minor map changes that I'm going to talk about towards the end of the video. So the first augment that was added to today's update is going to be the Revamped augment. This gives you a wooden stake shotgun, and then it also gives you Siphon on hits with the wooden stake shotgun. And it doesn't matter if you use the one they give you or a different one. It's just like from that point forward, if you use a wood stake shotgun, you will get Siphon. So it gives you a blue one. You can still get a purple or gold one, and you'll get Siphon from hits with that. I was not impressed by this augment at all. The amount of Siphon you were getting was very minuscule. I was getting like between 5 and 11 Siphon per hit. And if you guys don't know what Siphon is, it just gives you health or shields back when you hit the person. So sure, getting 10 HP back on shot is nice, but like the stake shotgun is more of a high damage, low fire rate shotgun. It's not an incredibly low fire rate, but it's not as spammy as something like the Maven or the drum shotgun, right? So you're probably not going to be hitting that many shots with it over the course of the fight. Like 1 or 2 should get it done. Does gaining between like 10 and 20 health over the course of the fight matter? Sure, it might help. It could save you in some situations, but I just don't think it's that big of a deal. Even when we had the Shotgun Striker augment, I wanted to combo it more with, you know, the high fire rate spammy shotguns like the Maven, the exotic Maven, or the drum shotty. I don't think this Siphon is enough to really change how you feel about the weapon. Like if you already loved the stake shotgun and it was your favorite shotgun since last week's update, then sure, you can run this, and you know, if you get this augment, it's going to be great. The added HP certainly doesn't hurt, but I just don't think it's going to be that much of a game changer. If you were someone who already really didn't care for the wooden stake shotgun, I don't think this augment is going to change that. The amount of Siphon is just really not that much, and with how the weapon goes, it would be an incredibly strange fight for you to hit the person like 5 times with this weapon over the course of the fight. You know, that just doesn't really happen with the wood stake shotgun. You either like hit one shot and then swap to your SMG to finish them, or maybe hit a shot, swap to your SMG for some intermediate damage, and then swap back to it. But either way, you're not going to be hitting several shots with the shotgun over the course of the fight. And even if you are, it doesn't fire so fast that that's going to like out heal anything that the opponent is probably doing. So I wouldn't really recommend this augment unless you're someone who already loved the wooden stake shotgun. The next augment is going to be kind of a similar thing, and that is going to be Witchy Warrior. This gives you the Witch's Broom, which is nice if you don't have any mobility. And then it also makes it to where you get a slightly faster cooldown on the Witch's Broom. It goes from being a 20-second cooldown to a 16-second cooldown. And this, in my opinion, is a very similar way how I feel about this to how I felt about the Revamped augment. If you loved the Witch's Broom and it was your favorite mobility item, then sure, take this. That faster cooldown is going to be nice. But if you felt like the Witch's Broom wasn't that great and you'd rather have something like Shockwaves or the Katana or the Shockwave Launcher, I don't think this augment is going to change that whatsoever. Like 4 less seconds on the cooldown is not a big deal whatsoever. If it put the cooldown down to like 10 seconds, you know, if it cut it in half, I could see a world in which that like kind of was an actual buff to the Witch's Broom, you know? Or maybe if it made it to where your Witch's Brooms have 2 charges, kind of like what katanas do with like the blue katanas back in Chapter 4 Season 2, then again, I think that would be like a reason to start using the Witch's Broom as a result of this augment. But as it stands, I don't think this augment really is going to change how you feel about the Witch's Broom whatsoever, in a similar vein to like what I said about the stake shotgun. If you love the Witch's Broom, take this. If you didn't like the Witch's Broom before, I don't think this is going to change your opinion on it. One of like the few benefits I could see for these augments is if you do get rebooted late into the game, then if this comes up and it's like, oh, I don't have any mobility or I don't have a shotgun yet, then like, sure, you can grab this augment and then you'll get the Witch's Broom. Or if you get the stake one, you'll get the stake shotgun off of that. But aside from that niche case, I don't really think it's that big of a deal. I don't think finding either of these items is hard enough for me to want to take this augment off spawn. Like if we're in like early game, first augment just came up and for some reason I don't have any mobility yet, I don't think I'm going to take this augment to get the Witch's Broom. Like it's just not really worth it for me. I would rather reroll, but even then, it's rare for me to have like no mobility or not be close to a place where I think I can get mobility, like from Cabby that late into the game. The final thing we're going to talk about is going to be that there are some minor map changes with today's update. So the time machine, which was previously at Eclipsed Estate, is now at Frenzy, and it still has the date on there from Chapter 1, Season 5, and there's a bunch of props outside of the time machine from Chapter 1, Season 5. So we have the Durr Burger head, the Tomato Temple head, the Oasis gas station sign, which was kind of at a gas station somewhat near Paradise Palms on the outskirts of the desert, and then also the Dusty Diner statue thing that was there when Dusty Divot got turned into Dusty Diner, like that top part above Dusty got kind of refurbished, and instead of just being an abandoned factory, it became the diner up there. And all of these props are from Season 5. Like, they're from Chapter 1, but most of these changes came in Season 5. Like the Durr Burger head getting spray painted by Drift, Tomato Town becoming Tomato Temple was in Season 5, the Oasis gas station was added in Season 5 with the desert biome, and then I think also the Dusty buildings got refurbished in the Dusty Diner during Season 5 as well. So interesting that, you know, we have the time machine interacting with the map and bringing things from Chapter 1. This confirms more of the rumors or suspicions that next season will be some sort of throwback themed. Fortnite also updated their location on Twitter to be the date that Chapter 1 started, July 12th, 2018. So, you know, furthermore little bits and clues of evidence of next season being a throwback chapter. If you haven't seen my video about that, I made one last week kind of talking about that. It's still getting very overhyped in my opinion. There's a lot of content creators, you know, hyping up the idea that we are going to be going back to the Chapter 1 map in its entirety. I really don't think that's going to be the case. If I had to bet money on it, I think it's going to be a combination of Chapter 1 and Chapter 4. Like, we're going to have Chapter 1 POIs coming to the Chapter 4 island. I still think it's going to be incredible. I'm very excited, but I just am very reserved about the idea that it's going to be the entirety of Chapter 1 remade. I think a lot of people are going to be going into it with like that high of expectations, expecting that, because it's what's been getting hyped so much recently by a lot of content creators in the community. And I think a lot of people, because of those high expectations, are going to be really let down if it is like a combination of Chapter 4 and Chapter 1. So I would just expect a combination of the Chapter 4 and Chapter 1 islands in some way. At that point, you can't be disappointed. You know, if you really want Chapter 1 to come back and you're expecting that the, you know, combination map like I talked about, then, you know, if it does end up coming back, then that's great. You'll be excited. But at the very least, I don't think you'll be let down if you have more reasonable expectations. And I think a lot of stuff in Fortnite just gets overhyped and hated because people's expectations are so high. But that is gonna be it for this video. Just two minor updates that I don't really think change the game too much. We got some Chapter 1 stuff coming to the island, which definitely confirms the idea of there being some sort of throwback theme with the time machine next season. It's just really to the extent at which we are getting a throwback season that I feel like a lot of people disagree on. I hope you guys found this video helpful, informative, interesting. As always, if you did, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more. Let me know down below what you think of these augments, if it changes anything for you. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Rip. I wanted both the kills for the 20.